Well, this morning we're joined by ethnomusicologist, my good friend, Dr. Dennis Howard. Good morning, Dennis.
Morning, Richard.
And welcome, my brother. It's been a minute, but I'm happy to have you on with us this morning. I'm also joined by another good friend of mine. He's a New York City-based media marketer. Another good friend of mine, Mr. Anthony Turner. Morning, Anthony.
Yes, good morning, Richard. I don't have the doctor in front of my name, but I'm the guru.
All right, we'll take that. All right, gentlemen, welcome. We have a moment, I think, to celebrate. I think we will all agree. Anthony, I know we had discussions after the first of two back-to-back shows that BUJU Banton had done. Was it at the what venue was that again? It wasn't the Barclays.
No, it's the USB Arena.
USB Arena. And I know exactly how you felt having seen him and seeing the kind of support that he got at that kickoff event, which basically, I believe, encouraged BUJU and his team to continue on to a bigger tour. Take us back to the moment and how you felt being a part of that audience on the night.
Well, Richie, first, we have to acknowledge the greatness of the Honorable Robert Nesta Marley, who came before BUJU. And, his accomplishments, being inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame back in 1994, his Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award, having a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2001, and, of course, his One Love song, which was declared Song of the Millennium by BBC. Oh, you're having some problems hearing me, Richie?
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you, Anthony. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes. So I was just acknowledging the greatness of the Honorable Robert Nesta Marley.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. All right. Dr. Howard, tell me, this is being heralded as a major achievement. Do you see it as such, and why?
Yes. Yeah. I know you were having issues hearing me a little while ago, but yes, I am actually saying that BUJU's accomplishment on this tour, this Overcomer tour, is unprecedented, and it's a major success for any. In fact, I don't think we've ever seen any artists have such a major success. I was at that very first BUJU concert at the UBS Arena, and I just want to let folks know the show was not promoted. The show was announced. The first date was announced, and within a couple of days, it sold out, which forced BUJU and his team to put together a second show at the same arena. And that show also sold out. Mm-hmm. And one important thing they did, Richie, is that before they announced the Overcomer tour, they allowed that very first show, the first two shows he did at the USB Arena, they did not announce the Overcomer tour until those two shows were completed. And then they announced the tour. And he did what no other reggae artist or Jamaican artist before him has done. I even looked at the accomplishments of the Honorable Robert Nesta Marley. If he was able to do something similar during his lifetime, and I couldn't find any statistics to complement that information. So I think what BUJU did is, in my opinion, he's the greatest Jamaican music performer over the last 2 or 3 decades.
All right, that's big. Those are big accolades that you are, in fact, placing on BUJU's head. Dr. Howard, do you believe? Tell us about the significance of this achievement of BUJU Banton from your perspective.
Well, in light of the obstacles that are usually put in place of Jamaican music as it relates to North America, it is indeed a great achievement, and it also signifies the importance of being an artist that has a long record and also have a great catalog of music. Mm-hmm. Because without that catalog of great hit songs, BUJU would not be achieving the kind of success that he is now enjoying. So it is remarkable. I think Bob Marley, I believe, based on my information, still has the record for the largest amount of people and consistently doing so. But that was a very long time ago. And so it is, really commendable and outstanding that Buju has been able to achieve this kind of success in terms of live show. And we hope that this is just the beginning. And we also want to think about it in not only just Buju, but other artists getting into the kind of business relationship, because there's definitely a demand for our music in North America.
Yeah.
So once they get to the right situation, we should hope that we'll see this repeated time and time again.
That is definitely our hope. When we saw the success of the first show, and then the fact that they had to, based on the fact that it was sold out so quickly, they had to do a second show the following night. Many people were saying, okay, well, Buju has been away, locked away and all that, hasn't been in the United States for well over a decade. So there's that, desire to see him again. But then he went on to tour with the Overcomer tour, and it's not club dates. It's we're talking about, was it stadium or arena, venues. So what other factors, Anthony, is what I'm trying to get to, do you think basically helped him to have this level of success?
Well, one of the things that we cannot overlook is that Buju has had success first as a dancehall artist back in the early 90s when he came out with some of the biggest hit songs. And then when he came out with that Till Shiloh album, which moved him from just a regular dancehall artist to, a reggae artist. Because we know that there are serious reggae fans who are not as caught up in the dancehall music, and then there's some artists some fans who are in the dancehall space who are not so much reggae listeners and supporters. So Buju has managed to straddle both genres and done so successful at a level that we've never seen in our modern day contemporary music. So I think that is critically important. And the other important thing that I think, even looking at what's happening with the Cartel Freedom Street show in Jamaica, is that you cannot overexpose yourself. You have to, yes, you have to use the social media platforms to move your agenda and get your music and you have some visibility in that space, but you can't you can't put everything there. You have to leave something for the fans to want to see and want to come to see you perform. And, I think that is something that Buju did well.
Is it that you're believing that in Vybz Kartel's instance, he's overexposed at this stage?
Absolutely. I think there was a desire to learn more about him. There's so much questions. People want to know how he was able to record during prison. We hadn't seen him when he came out. He had a look that he was different than the Cartel that went in. But we've seen him every day, every hour. So, what is left to see? Not much. With Buju, when he came out, we didn't see him. There was no overexposure on any other platform. So there was a certain mystique, a certain desire to see how he was looking. Could he perform? Did he sound the same? And he has used that very well to market himself, especially on this Overcomer tour.
Dennis, you want to help us to understand in more clear terms how social media might have assisted and other online platforms really would have assisted Buju in promoting the tour and attracting fans?
I don't think, for me, social media didn't do much. Let me tell you something. Buju is a great performer, and people know about Buju. Buju is one of the first artists as a dancehall artist who did not have a rough patch when he became a star. Most of the artists, you can call them, I can call them, all of them out. When they got their hit song, their performance was terrible. And a lot of them grew into performance. Barry Salmon was a terrible performer when he just started. Capitan, all of these guys never did well in terms of performance when they just break out. Barry Salmon was on the One Love concert. Nobody remembers that. So Buju was one of those successful artists from start, thanks to Donovan Jermaine and his skillful kind of management. From day one, he was a great performer, so he's known for that. Then there's the issue of nostalgia. The music has become really crappy in a lot of sense, and very confusing in terms of what is dancehall, what is what, and what of what. And so there's a generation of people that grew up with BUJU Banton, have a lot of disposable, income as people living abroad, and they want to go back to that basic good type of dancehall music and reggae music that BUJU Banton was known for, and hence you have a captive audience. You understand?
Yes.
It's not even about social media and exposure, because BUJU Banton never exposed himself much on social media. And even the songs that he has done since being released from prison have not made any major impact. But when you have great songs, when you have a great catalog,
yes,
you can tour for the rest of your life. And I would implore a lot of the people, including Cartel and Buju and all of these artists who have 20, 30 years behind them belt, stop trying to be the number one hit song, hit maker right now. You don't need to. Elton John no make a hit in a long time. You understand? The Rolling Stone don't make a hit in a long time. Jay-Z don't have to make another hit in his entire life. Kanye West don't have to do it. Ken Booth don't make a hit in the last 20 years. But guess what? Burning Spear don't have no hit song. But them have great hit songs and great quality music that will allow them to tour. And it's time people transition in their careers. Not trying to be the hottest, latest artist at 50 and 60, but be the veteran catalog artist and assume your position as a veteran, and I don't like to use the words legend and icon, but as you know, established artists that people know and people want to hear.
Yeah, I take the point. Back to you, Anthony. We know that there were some challenges with BUJU Banton's tour, nonetheless, because there were a few dates that were cancelled, and at one point, many people were wondering what's going to be happening. Will it even happen nearly the way that they planned it? What did you see as some of the challenges that he might have faced and other touring international touring reggae acts might face as they head out on tour?
Well, I mean, the truth is the whole situation with the gays and the fact that he had recorded this song many, many years ago, Boom Bye Bye, that, you know, I mean, played a minor factor, not the way it did many years ago. But the challenge for Buju and a lot of reggae and dancehall artists is that in heavily populated diaspora communities, I guess it's easier to pull big numbers there, but when you start going into the Midwest and some of the places that you know, reggae and dancehall may be popular, but it's harder to pull big numbers. And Buju undertook something very ambitious. He didn't do smaller theater dates or club dates. I mean, he wanted it to be just arena tour. And arenas typically have between 12 and 19, 20,000 patrons. So maybe he could have continued the tour in some of the places in Philadelphia. I know that show got canceled in Boston, in Connecticut. He probably could have taken smaller dates, but I guess he set this bar very high. He wanted to be an arena tour, and he kept to his word. So those are some of the challenges that he encountered.
Yeah, Dennis, the success of BUJU Banton's tour, how can this be leveraged to promote Jamaican culture and our music globally? And do you think that it has now started a trend where more artists will want to try to do likewise in terms of going out on arena tours? Will that be the impact of his success?
No, we need to stop thinking that every time an artist, Jamaican, is successful, that he will carry the rest of the culture. That's not how it is, This is business. And so we have to realize it depends on the artist. It depends on the artist's caliber and the songs that they have. And as Anthony just noted, that in some areas, there's no captive audience for the music. So you have to be very strategic in terms of how you move. And I dare say that, a lot of BUJU Banton's fans are non-Jamaican based on the track record. But however, in certain places, you're going to still have opposition, and that's part of it. It's not everywhere, every group, every American successful artist tours and does well. So that's the reality. So you have to be strategic. Again, we love to have these big talk about, we're successful, this is going to move the music. If we don't have an organized industry, if we don't have professionals, nothing will move. This is why that there are only a few people like a BUJU Banton, a Shaggy, a Sean Paul that are consistently successful. The rest of us are just wasting time and depending on dub plate money and showing off with big vehicle and big house and don't reach anywhere because we are looking at the immediate success and the money that we earn and don't build a long-lasting career with an empire that will create generational wealth. We see people flossing for many years with big car and them broke like dog right now because they don't have the organization and the infrastructure and the fence to not succumb to the trappings of success and the rollies and the cyber trucks and all of these things. That don't mean nothing in the long run if you don't own anything. How many of us have studios? How many of us have booking agents? How many of us are trying to partner with booking agents and promoters in the States so that we have a inroad into the thing? That's what Afrobeats did,
Yeah.
And that's why Afrobeat
one thing I should say, though, Dennis, is that I'm seeing a lot more of big agencies like Live Nation. There was AG Touring that are now partnering with some of our artists. I mean, the BUJU tour didn't just happen because of BUJU alone.
That's the point.
It's been partnering. So I think BUJU's success has now, it's bringing more of our artists. We see Popcorn. He performed in England at the OVO Arena, and there was some partnership, I think, with Live Nation. I see Alkaline is doing his show in England for Feb next year, and I see AG touring, or I think it's Live Nation. The big event coming up for Valentine's here in New York at the Barclays Center with Shaggy, Sean Paul, and Beres. We're seeing Live Nation being a part of that. So I think we're seeing a shift in terms of it's not a one-off, just a one-off promoter doing a one.
And then that's not a shift. These are the same thing I just meant. You're not listening to what I'm saying, I know. But Richie asked me, what are the implications for the overall business? The overall business is not 10 artists. The overall business is the 50, 100,000 artists that needs to get them thing together. So I am identifying the same artists that I have identified as being successful because they understand the business and them know partnership and all of them stuff here. You are just mentioning the same artists. So I'm saying, in response to Richie's question, it has no major implication for the overall industry until we get our shit together.
We heard you loud and clear.
No, I'm agreeing with that.
Yeah. Listen, gentlemen, we have a minute and a half to go, and I have another matter to take care of. But this has been so useful and important and valuable. I thank you both, Dr. Dennis Howard and Anthony Turner, for your inputs this morning. We hope to talk again some more, maybe an extended version of this conversation or something else. But thank you and have a good day.
All right, Richie. All right, Dennis.
Big up, Anthony, and thanks, Richie.
All right. Take
All
care,
right.
brothers. Take care.